Good morning students, you are most welcome again. And children, in the previous class, that is the previous video, we have discussed about the various aspects of photosynthesis. We have seen that how the photosynthesis process occurs, and we have also discussed that what are the things they are put together to form the food for the plant, that is the glucose for the plant. Children, we have also discussed that how the carbon dioxide is obtained by the plant, how it is absorbed by the leaves. So we have seen that the carbon dioxide is absorbed in the leaf surface or by the help of the leaf surface with the usage of or by the use of the stomata, that means the tiny pores which are present on its surface. We have also seen that the water is also obtained by the, you can say, the roots. Water is obtained by the roots, as well as the water plus mineral is obtained by the roots. And this water plus mineral, it is transported throughout the plant by the help of the xylem tissues, which are the very, you can say, the tiny tube network. Okay, we have to see now what other things they are required for the photosynthesis. So you know very well that for the photosynthesis we need or we require chlorophyll. So children, if you talk about the chlorophyll, that is the chlorophyll, it is a green color pigment. It is a green color pigment and it is present in the very tiny structures present in the plants called as chloroplast. So we can say chlorophyll, it is a green color pigment. It is a green color pigment present within the tiny structures, within the tiny structures called as chloroplast. Okay, what is the use of this chlorophyll? Children, we have discussed about this our process, that is the, you can say, the photosynthesis process. And in that process we have seen about the photosynthesis, and whatever this photosynthesis is done, it is done in the presence of, you can say, chlorophyll, sunlight, water, carbon dioxide. So we have seen that whatever this chlorophyll is there, it traps the sunlight, it absorbs the sunlight, by which the photosynthesis reaction it takes place. So now let us further continue our topic related to this chapter, that is, if there are some plants which cannot do the photosynthesis, or even if they can do the photosynthesis and they are not getting some of the substances, then how they will obtain, how they will get those kind of the substances, and what these plants will be called if they are going to exhibit such kind of the process, that is, they are depending upon the others. Okay, so let us see all these things, children. So let us talk about heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants, children. What is heterotrophic mode of nutrition in plants? This is a mode of nutrition you have already seen, children. We have already discussed in the first part of this class or the first part of this video, that whatever the living organisms, they cannot make their own food, or they are not getting some of the components, and for those things they are depending upon the other organisms, then they are regarded or they are called as the heterotrophs, and the type of nutrition which they exhibit, they have, that is called as the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So for example, suppose if I say there is a plant, this plant is not able to do the photosynthesis, and this plant is trying to get the nutrition or trying to get the essential elements from some other plant or some other tree, then we will call such type of a plant as a heterotrophic plant. Okay, children. So let us talk about these heterotrophic plants. Children, heterotrophic plants can be of various types. One of the types of heterotrophic plants we are going to discuss is parasitic plants. Parasitic plants. Children, parasitic plants are those plants which have the heterotrophic nutrition, and they are depending upon a living organism, or they are depending upon some other plant, either completely or partially, to derive the nutrients from them. Okay, so parasitic plants are the heterotrophic plants, plants which depend upon other plants, either completely or partially, for obtaining nutrients or other components. So, as you can see, children, whatever the parasitic plants are there, sometimes they are able to do photosynthesis. Some of the varieties, they are able to do photosynthesis. If they are able to do the photosynthesis and they are not getting water, so they will depend upon the other plant to obtain the water plus mineral. So that means they are the partial parasites. And if the plant is able to if the plant is not able to do the photosynthesis, then what we are going to say, that plant is a complete parasite, because that plant is going to derive all the required nutrients as well as the water plus minerals from the host plant. So all these things we are going to discuss in this section. So now, children, let us talk about the complete parasitic plants. So if we talk about the complete parasitic plants, we will take the example of Cuscuta. Complete parasitic plants. See, whatever the complete parasitic plants are there, children, such as Cuscuta, we can take the example of Cuscuta. Suppose this is a tree. For example, children, this is a tree. Okay. And on this tree, sometimes you might have seen a plant, it is growing on this tree. You might have seen some branches, they might have been covered by a yellow color, very thin climber-like plant, though it is not a climber plant, very thin, you can say a plant-like structure is growing on some tree. This very thin plant-like structure which is growing on the tree is actually a plant. We can call it as a complete parasitic plant, and it is known as Amarmale, Cuscuta or Dodder. These are the same plants, different names. We can say, so this is the Cuscuta. You can say Cuscuta. You can also call it as Amarmale, or you can also call it as Dodder. So Cuscuta, Amarmale or Dodder, what it is doing, it will derive water plus minerals also from the host tree. This is the host tree, or you can say the host plant. This is the host plant. And Cuscuta or Amarmale or Dodder, it is a parasitic plant. It is a parasitic plant. So what it is going to do, it is having the root-like structures, these type of root-like structures. These root-like structures, it is going to pierce in the branch or the trunk of this tree, and it will derive the water plus minerals from it. These root-like structures of the Cuscuta, they are known as haustoria. What are these? Haustoria. And this Cuscuta or Amarmale, it is going to derive the nutrients from this tree by the help of haustoria. So this haustoria is root-like structure. Root-like structure. Children, haustoria are just a root-like structure. They are not the very, what you can say, advanced type of roots as the other plants or trees they exhibit, they contain. See, these haustoria, they help the amarbale or the cuscuta to absorb the nutrients from it. They help the cuscuta or the amarbale to derive the nutrients as well as the minerals from this, you can say, from this tree. This cuscuta or the amarbale plant or the dodder plant, it is also not having the chlorophyll. So it is also not able to do the photosynthesis. It is not able to do the photosynthesis. Thus, you can say that it is not making its own food. So it is definitely depending upon this host plant for all its needs. What are its needs? Food, that is the nutrients, water plus minerals. All these things, this cuscuta, that is a parasitic plant, it is obtaining from the host plant. So we will call this cuscuta or the dodder or the amarbale as a complete parasitic plant. Okay, so cuscuta is the parasitic plant, and this host plant, it can be any tree. The host plant or the host tree can be any of the tree. It can be the neem tree, babool tree, any of the tree it can be, on which the amarbale can be present. I hope this topic is clear to you, children. That is, the complete parasitic plants are understood by you. Now, let us talk about the partial parasitic plants. So, what are the partial parasitic plants, children? Let us talk about them. See, children, as the name is suggesting, partial. Partial means half. They are only depending upon the host plant. These type of plants, partial parasitic plants, they are depending upon the host plant or the host tree for some of the substances, for some of the requirements. They are not depending completely. For example, there is a tree. Let us take again one example. By help of this diagram, it is going to be more clear to you. Suppose this is a tree, and this is the trunk of this tree. These are some branches of the tree. So on this tree, sometimes what happens? A plant will be growing. Suppose this is a plant, and this plant is a mistletoe plant. What type of plant is this? Suppose this is a mistletoe plant. Okay, this is a suppose mistletoe plant. Mistletoe. This is a mistletoe plant. And children, mistletoe plant is a partial parasite. It is a partial parasite. Or you can say partial parasitic plant. And this tree is a host. This tree is a host. Children, mistletoe can do the photosynthesis because it is having chlorophyll. Mistletoe can do photosynthesis. It can do photosynthesis. But it is not getting water plus minerals because it is not growing in the soil. So it is not getting water plus minerals. So what it is going to do, it is going to derive the water and minerals from this host tree or the host plant. Then only it is going to achieve, then only it is going to obtain the water and minerals. So photosynthesis it is doing by itself, food it is preparing by itself, but water and mineral it is not getting by itself. So it is going to derive water and mineral from the host tree. That is why it is going to be called as a partial parasitic plant. Okay, for only some of the things it is depending upon the host plant or the host tree. That is why it is only regarded as a partial parasitic plant. Okay, so partial parasitic plants, what they can do? They can do photosynthesis. They can do photosynthesis. Can do photosynthesis. But depend upon host plant for water and minerals. For water and minerals. I hope it is clear to you, children. And the topic is clear to you. I hope there is no confusion regarding this topic. Children, whenever the host and parasite are there, whenever there is a host and on that host the parasite is going to live. So parasites, they get benefit from the host, and parasites, they harm the host. Host will always get a harm from the parasite, either the small or a large harm, but they will definitely get some kind of a harm. So you remember that parasites always harm the host in some of the way. I hope it is clear to you. Now, let us talk about the other heterotrophic plants, that is the insectivorous plants. What do you understand by the insectivorous plants? Let us talk about. See children, for example, suppose there is a soil or there is an area. In that soil, whatever the area is there, in that soil, the soil is deficient or the soil is lacking the nitrogen in it. Soil is not having proper amount of nitrogen in it. So how the plant is going to get the nitrogen? How the plant is going to get the nitrogen? So what these plants do, these plants develop the modifications in them so as to trap the insects. And when they are able to trap the insects, they will digest these insects by the help of some digestive juices or enzymes in them, and these insects will release what you can say the proteins, and these proteins will provide the nitrogen to these plants. That is how we can say such type of the plants which are depending upon the insects. By digesting these insects, when they get the nitrogen, we call such type of the plants as the insectivorous plants. So for example children, okay, let me mention first of all what are insectivorous plants over here. So what are insectivorous plants? These are the plants which grow in nitrogen deficient soil. Nitrogen deficient soil. Deficient means the soil is having less amount of deficient soil. Nitrogen deficient soil means the soil which is having less amount of nitrogen content in it. Okay, so these are the plants which grow in nitrogen deficient soil. Okay, to obtain nitrogen, such plants digest insects by using digestive juices and obtain nitrogen from these insects and obtain nitrogen from these insects. I hope it is clear. There are some examples of such type of the plants. We can say pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, sundew, etc. Now, let us understand by the help of some of these examples. See children, for example, there is a soil. In this soil, nitrogen quantity is less. The amount of nitrogen nutrient is less. And there is one plant growing over here. This is suppose a pitcher plant. Okay, this is a pitcher plant. So pitcher plant, what it is going to have? It is going to have modified leaves, and these modified leaves, they will look like a pitcher. They will look like a bag. This is a pitcher. Okay. This is a pitcher, and it is a modified leaf. Children, inside this modified leaf, that is the pitcher, these inward spines are present like this. These inward pointing spines are present. Spines means some kind of a very fine hairy thorns are present. So these are going to be, and these type of the plants, what they are going to do, they are going to release some kind of a scent. They are going to release some kind of a fragrance. They are going to release some kind of a scent. It can be said as a fragrance. It is going to release some kind of an odor which attracts the insects. So when the insects come, suppose this is a fly, and this fly is getting attracted towards this pitcher, and this fly is going to come and sit over here. So when this fly is going to come, suppose this is that fly. So this fly is going to get, you can say, this fly is going to get trapped within it. And the lid over here, this is the lid of this pitcher, this is going to close. So this lid is going to get closed. Now when the lid is going to get closed, the insect will not come out. The insect is not able to come out. Now what will happen? This pitcher of this pitcher plant is going to release some digestive enzymes, digestive juices. These digestive juices are going to break down this insect. It is going to break down this insect into some kind of a paste, into some kind of a solution. This paste or solution of this insect is going to contain the nitrogen in it, which is going to be absorbed by this plant. Okay, so suppose this was the insect. This insect will get digested and it will get converted into a paste. This paste is containing the nitrogen, and this plant is going to absorb it. So like this, the plant is going to get the nitrogen. Okay, so this is digested insect, and this digested insect releases nitrogen. Similarly, there are some other plants also, like Venus flytrap is there, which is going to look like this. Venus flytrap is going to look like this. It is having two flaps. Venus flytrap is having two flaps. For example, this chalk, you consider it as an insect, and this is one flap. In this, suppose the insect has what you can say, the insect is sitting. Now this insect will be getting stuck to this flap, because this flap is going to release some kind of a sticky material called as mucilage, and when it is going to get you can say trapped by this mucilage, the upper lid is going to close and the insect will get trapped within it. And what will happen? That later on the insect is going to get digested because of the digestive enzymes or digestive juices. So like that, the Venus flytrap is going to trap the insect. There is one more plant, that is sundew. So sundew plant is having some kind of a tentacles coming out of it. Tentacles means some kind of the protrudings, some external growths are coming out of it. So a flower-like structure will be there within that plant, and from that the external protrudings are coming, and these protrudings, these external growths, they are having some sticky material, as well as they will release some kind of a smell. So insects will get attracted towards them, and when they will come towards this flower of this sundew plant, they will get attached, they will get stick to these you can say the tentacles, and now they will not be able to escape. And later on, this plant is going to release some digestive juices. The insect is going to get digested within it, and it is going to release nitrogen for the plant. I hope it is clear to you. So it is going to look like this. Suppose this is the plant. So this is the sundew plant. So sundew plant is going to have these kind of the tentacles. These kind of the tentacles. These tentacles are going to have some kind of you can say sticky material. Suppose the insect came and this is the insect. Insect will come and insect will get stuck to this. So this is, we can say, Venus flytrap. And this is, we can regard as sundew. Okay, so all these are the insectivorous plants. What is their purpose? Their purpose is to get the nitrogen, because they are growing in such type of a soil which lacks the nitrogen. So their purpose is to get the nitrogen from the insects by trapping these insects, or by trapping the very small animals such as bats, and to digest these insects and derive the nitrogen from them. I hope it is clear to you all children. So in the next video we are going to discuss about the saprotropic plants, as well as we will also discuss about the symbiotic plants. Okay, so till then children, take care. Thank you.